Hey guys, if you want to see how I created this super pretty spread using Pentel brush sign pens only, then stay tuned for this video. Hey guys, so as you saw in the intro, we'll be doing a brush pen only spread. And this spread, I went ahead and made myself a little guide for what I want to do here. But I just took some dot grid paper out of my dot grid notebook, and this particular one is available in my shop. That's a little design that I drew on the covers there, and I offer these almost monthly with every sticker release, given the current theme. But I just took pages out of this book, cut them down to size, and then these pages are going to go into my mini dashboard spread planner. So what I did was I went ahead and punched the holes in them so that I know where I can draw, because we're starting from a completely blank canvas here. So the first thing let me talk about, I do have these Pentel brush sign pens. I did talk about these a little bit in my brush lettering basics part 1 video, so go watch that if you're interested in starting to learn how to hand letter. But we're going to do a bit of brush lettering and a bit of drawing with only these brush pens in this spread. Just another tip: whenever you're doing a spread where you've picked your own colors, you do want to maybe pick 3 to 5 colors. You see I have 4 here, but that just helps keep the spread cohesive and kind of balanced in color. And make sure that you like those colors together, you know, swatch them on a different sheet or something like that. What we're gonna do first is I'm going to go ahead and hand letter the word September and 2024. And when I letter these, I'm going to stay mindful of my spacing, because as you see here, I have this kind of shadow in the brown marker that I want to do. And so I need to make sure that my letters are spaced far enough apart so that I can do that shadow without it looking cluttered. So now we're gonna do these little berries here. This entire spread should be super easy because these are doodle kind of flowers. For those berries, I like to start with my stem, which I don't actually do often, but I find it easier to make my berries go in the direction I want them to go when I draw the stem first. So I'm starting a little more than halfway up, and I'll go up in one direction, kind of over in another, in the opposite direction. I'm gonna take this lighter kind of purpley color, and in this case I'll start from the bottom of this stem, and I'm making these kind of circle doodles, just 1 or 2 per line as I go up. I think it'll be kind of cute to go up there into the September a little bit, so That one will go up there like that. Let's do one more there. Okay, that's kind of cute. And then I'm gonna take that darker berry color again and do the same thing. And if your circles have a little bit of a space in between, a little white space, leave that. That's actually pretty nice because it gives the appearance of kind of like a highlight. All right, so when you get them to be about the same size, we'll stop there. We'll let these kind of dry a little bit, and then we'll do a leaf. And my leaf is kind of poking through. There's gonna be this long leaf. And I'm doing veining by giving it just these little bitty lines in the leaf. Then we'll have another leaf down here that kind of looks like it's going off the page. And again, make those little lines to show the veining in the leaf. And now we're gonna go back in with this berry color to give these a little bit of shadow. And so this is why I said that it doesn't matter if your berries were touching or not, because the shadow that you're gonna provide here will give some separation. So I'm just doing shadows wherever those berries are either kind of touching each other or there's one on top of another. Just put a little shadow there to give it some depth. And now that these are dry too, we can go back over the same color and you get kind of a darker color there. And we can do the same thing to the leaves. Kind of go back over one side. I do that often. My favorite thing to draw are actually flowers. That's why most of my sticker collections have flowers in them. I can't get away from flowers. If you wanted to just darken up right there at the stem, just a little bit of shadow there. All right, that's our first flower. Now we're gonna move on to kind of like the flowers that you probably did when you were in grade school. To do these, we're going to start maybe about 1/4 of the way down on the page and do a small circle. And now we're gonna do those wiggly lines to make petals all around this flower. Gonna do it again and go do it kind of, make a little smaller one. And those wiggly lines really help the petals look a little more realistic. I'm gonna do another one up here, it's gonna look like it's facing to the, opening up to the left. So do a half circle there. Give me wiggly lines just on one side. Then we'll do another one under that one that opens to the right. Okay, now go back in and one petal at a time, color in the petals. The reason that we're coloring in one petal at a time is because we want to follow the shape of that petal and use the lines, the streakiness that the marker gives us to our advantage. Do that for each of the petals. And it doesn't matter if you have kind of some white streaks in there. That actually gives it a little bit of character. If you like that, leave it like that. If not, just keep coloring it in. And this process can also be a bit therapeutic, like hand lettering. Drawing flowers is extremely therapeutic, and that's one of the reasons why I love to do it. My favorite is like black and white line art, line work flowers. We're gonna take that berry color again, and we're gonna stipple, that's just doing little dots in the stamen. leave a little bit of white space. And you see it looks a little bit more organic now versus it just being a circle there. Okay, now we're gonna let that dry and move over to our roses. We're gonna continue to use this berry color, and these are gonna be super easy roses. Start in the center, and we're gonna make a wiggly spiral. See how that kind of looks like a doodle rose? Let's do another, because this is gonna be a big bouquet. And vary the pressure in your pen as you do this. That way, it looks like, you know, different shadows and stuff are occurring in the rose. Okay, so that looks like a nice sized bouquet. We're going to move on to the pot. We're gonna add some greenery later, but we're gonna do the pot first so that we know how we wanna fill things in. To do the pots, I like to start right at where the bottom of the bottom row of flowers is on the page. So I start there, bring my pen down, make a few rows. And when you do this, it looks like that bottom row of flowers is actually hanging over the top of the pot. So that's just a fun little neat trick there. And I'm using the dot grid to make sure that my pot is even. Now I'm gonna do the sides of the pot. I'll come down with a slanted line on one side, same thing on the other side, and then I'll fill in the pot, just color it in. And again, I'm using the streakiness of this marker to my advantage. If you don't like the streaks where you're kind of getting white in there, then just go a little slower with your brush pen. Now, I like the white streaks that I get sometimes because it gives the pot a little depth and dimension and character. Just keep going. Pay attention to your halfway point because that really should be kind of straight down the center. Then I'm gonna round off the pot slightly at the bottom. Okay. Now we're gonna take this same color, go over the bottom of that lip of the lid, and you see it creates like a little shadow. Give the pot a little bit of dimension there. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm doing it on the left side of my pot, and then I'm doing kind of like a curving shadow. That makes the pot look like it's a little more round. Okay? So keep on with that second layer, try to make that kind of even. And now our pot has a little dimension. Now that our brown has dried a little bit, we're gonna go add a few shadows to those petals. I'm just adding a bit of shadow around the petals, especially those parts where the petals overlap each other, or at least where you want to show that it looks like they might have been overlapping each other. So if you can imagine kind of in your mind where it looks like these petals are overlapping, then that's what I'm doing here, just coloring in those spots. Now, you know, when we were in grade school, we like to put that little line in the middle of our petals. You can do that. You can stipple them out, but we want to make sure those lines go in the direction of the petal. And that way it gives our petal a little bit of life, a little bit of movement. Okay, let's take our berry color again and stipple in a little stamen in the center of our roses. You won't see this as much, but you can kind of see it, and that's all we need to just give that a little bit of depth and dimension in the center there. Now we're gonna add a few leaves, and I tend to like to have my leaves kind of poking out. So I'm gonna add stems first, and you can add them wherever you feel like you need some fillers in your plant. Have a few of them poking out like so. And so now I just have these little lines here, and I'm just gonna do these little ovals. Okay. And those little ovals are my leaves. And you see how it's kind of filling up that negative space there? See, I kind of want to put a few more here. And maybe off to this side. Let's see, do we need a few more? Maybe here. And we're all done with this plant. Let's move to the next page where we're gonna do this pretty pot with those berries again. So this time there won't be any stems coming from the bottoms of the berries. We're gonna start right with those berries. So I'm going to start with this lighter purple color, doing that same type of motion, those little circles. Kind of vary the number of circles that you have on each row. We're gonna do 2 of these in this color. And these are just quick little circle motions. Don't be too much in your head about it, because you want it to look a little undone. I'm just going in here, and I made this one a little thicker than this one, so I'm just thickening one up. I'll go in with the berry color, start a little bit higher than those other 2 just to give this a little bit of interest. And same thing, quick little circular motions, clustery circular motions. Let's see, I feel like I need to thicken this one up too. Okay. And now we're gonna give it those long leaves again. This time I'm gonna kind of make the leaf look like it's coming out of a stem. Same veining lines. And I'll do a few veining lines on this side. And this one is kind of peeking out from behind the berries on that side. And then I'll do the same with this one, kind of peeking out from behind the berries. And you see these are just little messy kind of lines for veining on that leaf. And we'll start with the pot now. This pot I want to be rounded, but we're gonna start it off the exact same way. Start very close to the bottom of the flowers that you've drawn in so far. Okay, and this one will be a bit rounded. So let's start kind of in a little bit on one side, round it out. Same thing on the other side. And again, we're gonna use the streaks that we're coloring in with to our advantage. Make sure you're using a rounded motion so that this pot continues to look round. When I get a bit close to the center, I like to start on the other side to keep things even. Okay, and then the bottom of this pot will be a little bit more rounded. just to give it a little bit of difference there. We'll do the same thing we did with the other pot. Go under the bottom of that lip there, give it some shadow with the same color, and then go down one side to give some shadow. And then with this rounder pot, we want a more curvy line for the shadow there. That really helps the pot look round. And then give it just a little bit of shadow there at the bottom for depth to show that this is kind of a platform there. I'm gonna add a few more berry-like leaves to this plant. So you see those, just little berry type of leaves. Add a few down here, or wherever you see fit. Wherever you want to add some, that's where I want you to add them. And some kind of falling out the pot there. Now we're gonna go back, just like we did with these berries, with that darker berry color, and add a bit of shadow. Use this as an opportunity to separate your berries if you got them really close. Okay, we're done with that pot, and we're gonna move over to this fourth flower that we're gonna put in the corner over here to balance out this page. It's gonna be very similar to these flowers, just right about the same size maybe. Start about a little less than halfway up on the page. Do that circle again, and your wiggly petals. I'm gonna do one more of these brown flowers, but I'm gonna place this one a little bit further down, and this one will kind of be facing up. Color those in, just like we did before. Take your berry color, do the stamen like we did before. Stipple, 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 stipple. Okay, same thing with the rose. We'll do one big rose, kind of in between these with this color. And this time we'll kind of make it look like one of the roses, this rose is kind of peeking out from some of the other flowers. Then I'm gonna take this lighter color and do a few more roses. Same concept, squiggly spiral. You can pick your pen up a few times. Do another one kind of over here in this corner. Okay, now we'll go in with the green, and add those same kind of buds that we did over here. I do want to kind of make a little stem coming out of this one. You don't have to do that. I just thought that would be cute for mine. So let's see. A leaf there. A few leaves here. And a few on this side to kind of even things out. All right, how cute is that? So we're done with all the doodles. Pause the video and breathe for a second if that was a lot for you. But now we're gonna get ready to go in with our lines. And I'm just gonna eyeball these. I wanna do brown because I don't want this spread to be too heavy, and I like this color brown. It's a lighter color. Okay, now that I have all those lines done, I'm gonna go back in with this berry color and just do the first letter of each day. Take the green marker and just do a thin number. This is the 9th through the 15th. I'm not doing this in a brush letter style, it'll just be the number. Gonna take the same green and do to do. Gonna letter this in my kind of basic brush lettering style, so this won't be bouncy. Using those dots to make sure that my letters are the same size. And then to do little checklist boxes, I'm going to alternate this lighter color purple and the brown. I want to skip a row between each checklist. That's just my preference. You can do yours a little different if you'd like. All right, we're all done here, guys. This was super fun to do, and all you needed was paper and 4 colors. You can also letter with Crayola Super Tips. We did one of those in a lettering practice with me on my Patreon if you're interested in that. So I'm sure that you probably have colors similar to these, even if you don't have these exact markers. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in my planner, and I will probably glue these down to the existing pages a little later. Not sure if I want to do that yet, so I'm not going to do it right away. But this is how it looks in the planner. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're interested in continuing to see this content, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you like this. Let me know if there's anything else that you want to see from me, and there will be many more of these to come. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.